Playground Podcast.
All right, joining me, another episode, Marcy's Playground. I've got one of my favorite people, Matt Pinfield, joining me. How are you, Matt?
Marcy, it's great to see you. I'm doing good. I'm doing well today. It's really funny. I just got back from a hike earlier, and I just keep going. It's funny. I'll sit there and do anywhere from 10,000 to 12,000 steps. Usually it's closer to 10, but for a guy who had a stroke a year ago, was in a coma, it's wild because I'm just like, it's amazing the way the human brain works in the body, because I still have large parts of my right side where I don't have actual feeling. It's numb, and I just work around it. I mean, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're rolling with it, and it's amazing. It's amazing, Matt, because I mean, people have joked around. You have 9 lives.
They're not wrong. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, seriously,
a few of them. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm grateful to be here.
So each time you were hit by a car, that was a rough one. You had this stroke, and you were in a coma. Last year, is your outlook different? Following each one, is it different?
It is. Every time something happens, like a life-changing experience, something that that really it changes the direction of your life, whether it's temporary or or there's permanent residual issues like I have now. I mean, we're not necessarily aware of what abilities I will get back. I mean, I've certainly I couldn't even open my right hand when I got up from the stroke, and now of course luckily I'm left-handed. But I mean, I can use my right hand. I can spin vinyl records, I can do a lot more with it, but it took a lot of work. It takes a lot of physical therapy, a lot of occupational therapy. And I'm constantly working at it, but I'm also, I'm stubborn in a way that I won't give up. I'll keep trying to fight through it to get more ability. And, literally so much so that my friend and I, we went boxing. He was like, he goes with me to work out. I belong to a couple different gyms, because some of the people that I would work out with on a regular basis, moved, and then, or had major life-changing their jobs that took them elsewhere, and all kinds of stuff. So they were, I've adjusted to that with people that can work out with me, and I will go by myself quite a bit as well. But I've different people that will hike with me. I really enjoy getting outside. I feel very fortunate that I'm here, in Southern California, but I love, there's a lot of really nice areas in the country, but I've got to say that I'm grateful, that I woke up today and I could go out and I could, go outside and be outdoors. Cause, I wasn't outdoors for 3 months. I mean, there was 2 months in the first hospital where, I was a large percentage of that time I was, completely unresponsive and in a coma. And then the other part, and then came out of the coma, and then in this second hospital is where I did a lot of physical therapy. So that was where physical and occupational therapy every day, anywhere from 3 hours to 5 hours a day. But I just was determined to just get back the abilities as I could. And I knew there was no guarantee. I mean, I still have a lack of feeling in a large part of my right side of my body, a lot of my arm. But I can still use it. I mean, I was actually boxing.
Incredible.
My friend who's, training, he does, all kinds of boxing, kickboxing. He does, there's a couple different types of defense things he does and fighting that I can't even pronounce the names of them, to be honest with you. But, I mean, he's taught me a lot in no time at all. And I haven't boxed since I was like a teen.
I love boxing so much. I love the resistance.
Yeah,
I love kickboxing.
Great. So cool, isn't it?
What's
amazing too was just that, obviously I've been working really hard at regaining strength in my upper body, and the right side, it's like I said, I don't feel my hand completely, but I can use it. And then parts of the arm, I don't feel. Like, it's weird. I feel the hand over here touching it, but I don't really feel it. And then that goes all the way down my leg to my toe. On the
is that going to come? Is it that feeling going to come back?
Do they know? I mean, but I've definitely got better odds at it by doing all the stuff that I'm doing, which is a lot of exercise. Jeez. I mean, the miracle is that I woke up from that stroke I've been being fed through a tube for a couple months, man. But I came back and I was hungry. I was ready
Yeah,
for
you did.
real solid food.
That's.
You know what
I
I
bet you were.
mean?
What was the first meal? What was the
Oh, my
first meal?
friends
Solid.
went to like a place in Burbank, which is the Coral Cafe, and they know me there, right? So they sent over like some chicken and some
Love it.
chicken and eggs and some stuff. And then my friends, once I could have solid food in the hospital, my friends were like literally, bringing me food at all different times. I did get stuck with some hospital food, of course, and made the best of it. But I definitely, my friends, they were like, there was no, I was just so amazed at the generosity of my friends that were coming there and bringing me meals from different places. Like there's a place you and I both know in Burbank. It's called the Smokehouse, legendary place. That's where like George Clooney named his production company after it. It's right by Warner Brothers, and those guys. Some of my friends brought me like, there's a lot of music people obviously brought me like, that cheese garlic bread they have there.
Oh, so good.
It's
Yeah.
like some of the greatest stuff ever. And I
It's-
TV show The Studio, the most recent show that's out, like there's episodes shot in there or parts of the episodes. And that place is like legendary. It looks like the inside of, it looks like an episode of Starsky and Hutch inside, or like Columbo. It's like at the old bar, and the food's great. But it's like, so people were bringing me food from all different places. And one of the nicest thing was, my friend Scott, who works with, Pearl Jam and Ozzy, he'd worked with Ozzy. He makes like restaurant grade sushi that is unbelievable.
Oh, so
In
good.
the hospital.
That's
Not right away, obviously. This took a while because they were like,
Right.
this was slow development. But by the end of the third month, my friend Scott had come there twice. He works with Pearl Jam, and he like I said, he's worked with the Osbournes and stuff for a long time. And Ozzy, he was involved in a ton of Ozzy stuff. He came and made me sushi in my
I
hospital
love
room.
He's rolling
He's
sushi
rolling sushi, making
in the
hand
hospital.
rolls. It's like, I think, it was really funny. I think, but, some people are like,
Doesn't
I was eating better in the hospital, which is not really the way it's supposed to go, at least for, on some days, not all days. I mean, certainly I was eating hospital food most of the time. I was just grateful to be eating anything. It's that whole line, Marcy, where you go, it's great to be here. It's great to be anywhere.
Absolutely. And Matt, I loved seeing the support. Everybody just rally around you because you are that person. I got permission to talk about this, but, my ex went through some heavy times, and he is now sober. He was struggling with a pretty serious alcohol addiction, and you were there for me. The times that you were just there. I mean, I was just broken down, and so when this happened, and I am not alone saying I was so concerned when you were in the coma, and but I don't know, just seeing all the support for you. It comes right back around full circle, and of course you pulled through. Of course you did. I mean, you're
I'm
so
very grateful. I mean, there's never any guarantee, and
right.
it's amazing. But it's just what a beautiful thing that I, had the opportunity, and I feel very blessed because, there's never any guarantees, and I know people
No.
have gone through a lot of things, and I've spoken to other stroke victims and been there, and discussed things with them, and it's the thing about strokes are there's a lot of mystery in them. It's
Yeah.
just so many. It's just like so many other things. I just hosted last week for Butch Vig, and
Love him.
He was so great, and there were a ton of musicians there. I did a thing for epilepsy research, this foundation called Joey's Song out of Madison, Wisconsin, where Butch and Duke from Garbage are originally from, and they do something every year. And Johnny Resnick was there from the Goo Goo Dolls, and Kurt from Tears for Fears, and
Love it.
the Go-Go's, the Bangles, members of so many different bands. It was so cool. So whenever I can do anything like where I can give back,
Give back.
it's so important, because I've been blessed that I'm here still. And there's not, like I said, it's like another one of those things that happen where they still don't really have all the answers. They don't really know. You know what I mean? There's still so much research on stroke victims, and every outcome is different.
So they haven't really been able to find a cause. What caused yours? Was it the first
Well,
one for
mine,
you,
I
or
think, honestly, I was told by, because, now, I was in Kaiser, but now I'm in Cedars, go there for aftercare, and I do a bunch of stuff. And I was talking to the doctor there, and she said to me, you're AFib. She goes, which, by the way, she told me 2 days ago, I went there. She said, your heart is doing well, and your blood pressure is great. She said, it's one of those things where, I had a blood clot that was shot from my heart up to my brain, and that is what obviously caused it. The other thing that was a real misfortune, of course, is that I got MRSA pneumonia in the hospital, which kills 85% of the people that get it. There's
right?
the range of people the amount of people and the average amount of people that don't leave a hospital after getting MRSA it's extremely alarming and upsetting. So, and because obviously, through everybody that we love, that they were literally told that I probably wasn't going to make it. And
Right. I was following that, Matt, and yeah, I was very concerned. I'm not alone. I know that there's a lot of people who love you, and it was just yeah, you were at that point where it could have gone either way, and
And I,
you're amazing.
they told my daughters that I wasn't likely going to live, but it was, miraculously I'm here. Very grateful for that. It's, I just do as much as, I just at this point, since I am fortunate enough to still be here, I just want to do as much as I can, not only to really appreciate every day, but to help others when I can.
And you do, and I think even I love your social posts, but they're so inspiring, and you're always staying active, and you're always pushing yourself.
Well, I do that because it's so important. I mean, the other thing that was, because it affects everybody differently, and my heart is there for anybody who's been through the thing where, it obviously it's affected me where I've lost feeling in a portion of my body, and it's like the right side, but it's amazing that because of the human brain and the body, I've been able to get stronger and push. It's really, what's so interesting for me, which I don't, which makes me realize just what a miraculous and interesting the human brain is and body and the way it functions is, when I was like, sometimes I'll be at the gym and put like a couple 45-pound discs on each side of a leg press and literally lower the thing down with my legs to my chest and then go up again and do a bunch of. It's incredible. I don't feel my right leg, but
You can do it.
That's what blows my mind is that I can actually push over 200, 300 pounds. You know what I mean? Somewhere around there.
That's probably working in your favor. You don't have to feel it.
I'm really grateful. And I think a lot of it has to do with, even when I was hit by the car in 2018 on December 3rd, and I was also lucky to be alive after I was crossing the street as a pedestrian and went through this person's windshield. My head, I went into their car.
Yeah.
And then they hit the brakes and I went flying over the car. I think in both instances, thank God I had done some exercise before, but I'll be honest with you, when you're in a hospital bed for 3 months, 2 of them where you're unresponsive, you lose a lot of them. You lose your muscles. You lose a lot of major atrophy and a bunch of things. So I've just been slowly rebuilding. Every day it's like unbelievable. It's just, and I do have
I would think the medical staff must just be amazed at your progress.
It's interesting. The neurologist, I can say it. She says that she sees me as very strong, and and I'm very fortunate. So I just keep going.
Yeah.
Man, and I'm not cocky. I'm just grateful. It's like, what do I have to be cocky about anyway? The truth is, it's like I'm doing the best I can do, and I have a long way to go. It's one of those things where, like anything else, it's kind of anything worthwhile. It's going to take a lot of time, and there's no guarantee in certain parts of my body that I'll ever get any feeling back there. But you know, people learn to work around some things, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think a really important part of it is your mental health through these things is just to really that's the thing it's always challenged as well because it's just it's a heartbreaking thing, and I talked to a lot of other stroke victims, um, so I just do whatever I can do, and just keep on moving forward. Music plays an important part in all of it,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
it's giving me strength and just my passion. And of course, how much I love to do radio, and I love sharing music and information with people. And I'm grateful to be doing what I'm doing. And it's one day at a time. Sometimes 1 hour
Absolutely.
at a time. Like I can just say
Yeah.
it's. So I'm just life is life. It will throw curveballs at you. It's kind of interesting. That at the age of 15, I had an aneurysm. And so there's actually, I remember there's a scar, a very, you can't really see it that well, where they cut into my head on here. Um, and it's really well faded. They did a good job, especially in the 70s. We're talking about the
Yeah.
end of the 70s. I was a teenager, and boy, can you imagine how bummed I was then? I mean, because I was the singer in the rock
Yeah.
in my town in East Brunswick, New Jersey. We played all the junior high dances. I was the lead singer of the band. Um, and then that summer, I went into the hospital because we noticed there was a bubble on the out, like there was literally there was a artery that had been pushed up. You could see under the skin, and it
Oh,
was
geez.
pulsating. And I had hair then, right? So
Mm.
not an amazing amount of hair. I mean, my hair was never thick, but I had hair like
Yeah.
70s hair. And I basically, if it wasn't for this girl in my homeroom in junior high, her name was Debbie Pernice, so I never forget this.
Shout out to Debbie.
Yeah, shout out to Debbie for saving my life then, because I remember just going, oh man, I just like literally she's staring at me in homeroom, and I go, Debbie, what's going on? She goes, man, what's that on the side of your head? And I go, and I feel it, and I can
You
actually
could feel
feel it
it.
pulsing,
Oh,
and it was
jeez.
bubble, and it was the weirdest thing. And typical 15-year-old, I was, you know, um, I wasn't really, I didn't know how serious it was. Nobody knew back then, but my parents were told that I wasn't going to live through that operation. Basically, that kind
My
of.
gosh, Matt.
So basically, I didn't know this till I became an adult. My mother never shared this with me until I was an adult. That when I was 15, when I went in the hospital that summer, they said the odds back then were like 10% that I would live through that operation.
My
So I
gosh.
did. And eventually my hair grew back, but it was very odd. I felt like an alien because I had like stitches all the way from here.
Yeah.
When I got hit by the car, I had stitches over here.
Yeah. You
I
have to
remember,
balance it out.
yeah, one of the guys from Five Fingers Death Punch, Jason Hook, took the picture of me from the side. So I had like the train tracks, which I had asked him. I said,
That's
"You got your
awesome.
picture?" So I have a picture of this, Jason, which was pretty funny. So,
So I have to know, when you were in a coma, I've always wanted to know this. Could you hear anyone? I mean, were you just completely, was it,
no,
it was just
I
dark?
don't. I must have heard people because it's very odd. People, there was something about when people said they would like hold my hand or, they would kind of, I mean, just try to make me feel calm. But there were people that brought guitars into the hospital. And played. There were people that, found a way to hook up music in the hospital room,
So
like
great.
through like the monitor, like there was a monitor, so they could play music through it, and they were playing everything from my own interviews,
That's
which
so
was
great.
hilarious, you know, um, and
I love that.
to different music that I loved, and people playing guitars, and I think that I generally believe, the collective prayer and
Yep.
support and love of people was very, very strong and instrumental. I mean, I truly believe there's a lot of power in that, and
I do too.
so that collective prayer and those people that were, all over, like, I mean, obviously, I didn't really know I stayed off social media for months, because I just like didn't
Yeah.
want to be involved in it at that point. I needed to focus on recovery, coming back and seeing where things were going to go with my health. So some people would bring in and show me what, like Shirley Manson from Garbage, did a whole thing that she wrote that was beautiful, and
Mm.
Paul Weller from the Jam, and the Style Council, and Mick Jones from the Clash had texted me through somebody, and and sent me. So I know there were a lot of people in music, and a lot of my people I've known throughout the years because of radio and music, that were there, and there were a lot of people that came to the hospital, Keith, of course, Cunningham. We were talking about. We love Keith. He was there, and so were like my bosses from MTV. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yep. Andy.
Like Andy Shaw,
Mm-hmm.
and
Good dude.
Rick Krim, and people like Van Toffler, who brought me books. There were a ton of people that from all different aspects of people like Mike Ness from Social Distortion
Yep.
coming and bringing me Thai food and sitting next to me in the hospital bed once I was awake, and
I do believe in the power of the collective like that. I think that is really important. Did you have a spiritual experience? Did you
well,
see God, or you know what I mean?
no,
Did you have a really
I
cool?
do believe in the power of prayer and all of that. But I think it's really interesting. A lot of people have asked me that. Have you?
Mhm.
Did you? And what's so crazy is the only last thing I remember, is literally, being at my friend Johnny Tempesta's house, who was, like he's the drummer in the Cult, but he was a drummer in White Zombie, Rob Zombie's band.
This was the night that your stroke
I
hit.
had a stroke. I was over there helping
Yeah.
Johnny with some technical stuff, just like being over there, supporting him through some thing he had to do on his computer, and I said to him, I said, "Man, I feel kind of weird," and and then I said, "Yeah, but you should give my girlfriend a call." So they called her, and she came back, and she's like, "Why haven't you guys called the hospital?" And they said, "Oh, he told us not to." She's like, "Call the hospital now."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the last thing I remember was the ambulances come. They put me in the back of the ambulance. She wrote up front, and I know some other friends went there, but I don't remember. Like, I just remember getting in the ambulance, and it's the last thing I remember for 2 months. And it's really wild because something something was going on. I certainly have no memory of those 2 months. I mean, none.
Yeah.
There's not even a moment, and which is
That's gotta
very
be so. It's
strange.
gotta be so weird. You wake up and 2 months of your life is just
Yeah,
gone.
it was very strange, and
That's
it
a
was
trip.
like, and then like you're trying to make sense of things, and it's just like, it's like it's really interesting, and I just know that I mean, for all the gratitude I have, and I'm grateful to be here,
Yeah.
man. It's like I don't want anybody. I wouldn't want anybody to go through that.
Yeah.
Certainly do. That's why I just I try to talk to other people that have had strokes and might get discouraged, and I know it's tough, and I'm not saying I by any means have any answers. All I do know is every case is individually different, and just to be out there, and there are great stroke support groups, but there are also it's I know it's tough. I've seen.
Are you in the clear? Do they feel like there could be?
Well, I'm
Uh, uh,
certainly
uh,
doing. They were like, I mean, you never. I don't think you're ever completely in the clear, but I have been getting checked up on regularly,
that's good.
and right now I'm doing good, and I've been doing good. So that. I mean, that makes me really happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like, look, I gotta say,
Yeah.
it's amazing. But I just want to tell people that maybe if they've recently gone through a situation like this, to give themselves be patient with themselves. I know how hard that is because man,
Mm.
you have to learn to redress. You got to
Yeah.
learn a lot. Everybody's journey is different. Some people have a stroke; they're out of the hospital in 3 or 4 days, 5 days, and it's like nothing ever happened. Others are in there like I am, or longer, or have just it changes everything. Physically and what their abilities are. I mean, that was the thing that again when I realized I could still talk because they said to some people in the hospital. I mean, I think sometimes these hospitals they have to prepare
Yeah.
family and
Yep.
friends for what might be, and they were under the impression they had told my daughters that I was probably going to need 24-hour care, and that it
Not
was
you, Matt. Not
I have
you.
to walk or talk again. I'm grateful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, I don't believe in being cocky about things, but I will say, I just I'm a fighter. I'll just keep fighting. I mean,
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
doing the things like I try to do as much as I can, and you know that's I mean the thing is I won't give up. It's because it's a hard change for a lot of people, and it hasn't been easy for me by any means. I don't want people to think it's like been easy, but
No.
I'm just a fighter. I refuse to.
Which I love. I love that about you. You're
I
a warrior.
refuse to stop
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
fight through it. I mean, that's what I always do, and it's kind of like how I was raised. You know what I mean? I think it was very much like the way
Well, I
my
know. I know your mom. Your mom is spunky.
yeah.
So
I lost her. My mom was very spunky, and but she passed away on July 4th of this year.
oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got it. She was
Oh,
93. Man, she was a little Irish woman from New Jersey, man. Let me tell you something. She
firecracker.
was driving.
Love it.
The day before she fell on her birthday. And when people get older, of course, there's their bones, everything, things are more fragile. And she'd made it to 92 and lived a good part of those years, 92 years. She was still. I mean, my dad died in 2008, and my mom was living on her own.
Yeah,
She was
it's amazing.
herself. And my sister was there to help her quite a bit. My sister was like, would take her to certain doctor's appointments. Some she would drive herself. I mean, this is the funny thing about my mom. My mom was, I got a kick out of her. She would leave me a message and she'd go, Matt, don't worry about me. If you call this afternoon, I went over to the college. They're having a jazz concert. I'm going to go see it. She
I
go by
love it.
herself. She go by herself. She didn't, man, she was like so independent.
So great.
And she would go there, and then she'd call me and go, yeah, it was good, but there's no vocalist today. I tell you something like it was so funny. But she was tough. She was like I said, she lived in 93. After she fell and hurt herself, she only lived in like a few more weeks. And but luckily I got down there to see her and
Good.
spend time with her. And I was there and held my dad's hand when he passed away. I was there with him. So
I was too with my dad. I held his hand as he passed.
that's great.
It's a good moment. Yeah.
So I'm glad we have that, and I wish
Hmm.
a lot of people. It's been hard for. I mean, it's like one of those things where flying down to say goodbye to my dad. I leave it. Of course, JFK Airport in New York. It's like
It's a cluster. Yeah.
it's a cluster.
Yeah.
With a capital F. But it was like the thing was. Me and my daughter, one daughter had flown down there, and but we were sitting in a plane for hours, but we still got there before my dad passed.
Good.
But again, he'd stopped, he was unconscious when I got there, but he held my hand, so I knew he knew I was there,
Hmm.
and he passed the next morning. But so that's the thing. It's like we have parents who are getting older. I'm older. I have adult children. I mean, it's just it's a cycle of life, man. And it's doesn't make
Yeah.
it any easier. We love the people we love and our families, and hopefully you have good relationships. There's good and everybody goes through to different degrees, but I will say I'm glad that my mom lived that long, and she was something, man. And then so I'm here, so I guess I get the fighting spirit from both of them because
Yeah.
they came from they were tough backgrounds, in Jersey, and they came up and worked hard for everything they had. And
Yeah.
and raised a family, 3 kids. I'm the youngest of 3, and man, it was so. I like to believe I got a lot of that persistence
Spunk. Yeah.
from 2 of them.
Yeah. A lot of people are doing dry January. It's amazing how good you feel when you back away.
Yeah.
Haven't been drinking any wine. I'm like, dang, my energy is just up, and it's awesome. But has this been a test for you at all? You've been sober for
Well,
a long
I
time.
gotta tell you, it hasn't been this. It hasn't been this time because for me, I've just been. There were a lot of guys that were there from the time that I woke up that were program guys. Sorry, I mean,
Mm.
probably
Mm-hmm.
that's all I can say about the program, except to say
Mm-hmm.
that man, I had a lot of support, and I had a lot of contact with people throughout that entire time. So that hasn't been even a. To be honest with you, I haven't had any desire to do anything, to drink, do anything else. Just like, I haven't a desire to even, smoke, drink Red Bull, anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. You're
I,
just you're focused. You're focused on
yeah. I
taking
mean, I
care of your
just, yeah, because I mean, I coming that close to death
yeah.
this many times by now, I
Yeah.
really want to, you know, I want to be around as long as I can. And, there's too many reasons for me to want to be around and be alive. You know what I mean? Besides, there's just, I'm so fortunate to have so many people that I love and that are great friends. And, and everything, the music gives me a lot of joy and power, and a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
people that are just have been supportive. So there's, from my heart, and I'm just, so for me, yeah, I haven't, it's interesting. Yeah, just, it's just not an option right now, and I like it this way. It's interesting. Sometimes your life just resets you, regardless of what you're doing, what
Mm.
you're feeling, what you're thinking, and you just have to go with the flow. And I think if I learned anything again this time is that nothing is guaranteed, and that you know, at any moment things can change. As
Mm.
we've all learned, and I think the longer we're alive, the more we're reminded of not only how temporary our lives are, but just like in general how things can change at the drop of a hat, in a second.
Yep.
And the best we can do is just keep working through it, and that's for me all that really all that matters. And I'm not going to stop. I mean, because again. I think I said it earlier. The human body is incredible. Like the
It sure is.
I can't feel so many parts of
Yeah.
my right side. I still don't feel like I said the whole arm. Like I can feel it from here.
Right.
I can still move it. I can still do. And this came back, but you had to practice to get this back. Like I said, I'm a lefty, so I can write with my left hand, which is great.
That's good. Yeah.
But those abilities, you just keep working on them, and there's no guarantee certain things will come back. But man, I've learned to function around them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stubborn, right? Like it's just like I refuse.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it.
You know what I mean? Like,
Huge inspiration for so many. You're such a fighter. I
yeah. I
love
mean,
it.
I will. I'll keep on fighting. But it's great, and again, I'm grateful to be able to do what I do. I love, I love being able to talk about music, and and still, like just be out here, entertain people, and informing them. Like the whole educational and informative at the same time, and entertaining. And
That you are. You're a walking music encyclopedia, as I think somebody put on the social post on social
yeah,
media.
and I'm just
Facts.
grateful.
Everybody knows that.
For me, it's a matter of you got to keep going. You know what I mean? So.
Mm.
Yeah, and I feel good today. Like I said, I got out and hiked. I've been doing the boxing thing a bit. That's a new thing I started,
I
which
love it.
is cool because I hadn't done it in a long time. But the fact that you can, I'm hitting a bag, and again, it's so crazy how even though you don't feel a large percentage of your, but it's something about your brain, and it's kind of trained.
Tells it what to do, and it
Tells what to do, which is
follows. Yeah.
yeah. And that's it. I'm just trying to see how many ways I can try and re-stimulate the brain to rebuild some of the neural pathways that have been interrupted or blocked from the stroke. So,
And I bet music helps that a lot.
oh, it does. It certainly does.
Yeah.
I think it's a great story that I was bringing John Fogerty on stage at the Hollywood Bowl, as I've always loved. I mean, who doesn't?
It's Fogarty, yeah.
If there's something you don't love, Fogerty or Creed, it's like I don't know, man. That's like one of the greatest music of all time. And I love John. So getting to go and bring him on stage at the Hollywood Bowl was really a magical moment. And I had been 2 weeks previous at a couple went to see a couple movies. My friends were and they were music related film documentaries. So I wanted to clap for my friends that were in them, and I couldn't clap because of the limitations of the hand. But then I went and saw my mom. She passed away, and there was that week. And then I got back, and I was, asked to introduce John, and it was so great by him and his family. And I went up and introduced John on stage, which was a beautiful moment for me at the legendary Hollywood Bowl. And then I go to the side of the stage, and I looked at John Fogerty's daughter, Lindsay, and I said, "Holy shit, Lindsay, I can clap again." I couldn't believe it.
Incredible.
We were talking about you mentioned that music is so helpful. Yes, because obviously the passion for the music and hearing him up there, because he's still great.
Yeah, still got it. Yeah.
It was. I got to go to this, another thing with John that was great with John and the family a few weeks back, which was a big benefit concert that the Roger Dolce puts together, and they've been doing it. Townsend's been involved for years in England. They do those Teenage Cancer Trust concerts. So this one was amazing. It was like the Who played, Eddie Vedder did a song with them. It was John Fogerty doing Creedence stuff. It was Def Leppard.
Nice.
It was the Doobie Brothers, Peter Frampton, Cheap Trick. It was nuts in a backyard, in a giant backyard. It was crazy. I'm like,
wow,
what is going on here? But it was beautiful that I got to go, and I what a moment that I'm standing there with John in the house that kind of overlooks where the backyard area is, and I'm standing there with John Fogerty, and we're both standing there watching the Who together. It was a pretty amazing moment.
That is pretty amazing moment. So you're always doing something cool. What's on the calendar? What's coming up?
Well, I'm what is the next thing? I'm doing the 90s cruise, which I couldn't do last year. I couldn't do that, or the Creed cruise, any of those cruises last year, because I did the Coed and Cambria cruise a couple months ago, because that was a band I signed to Columbia. And but yeah, this is a 90s cruise that me and Downtown Julie Brown and Dave Holmes will be on, and
love that so much.
Great, and I love being with them.
Yeah.
It's going to be so cool, and and a bunch of artists.
Yep.
So it'll be a lot of fun for me. And I realize now that I can. I'm getting around pretty well. I mean, I still have a cane, and I don't use it all the time. I use it as little as possible, but I still need it in certain situations. I mean, you're in the dark and there's like a major amount of steps. I suggest that you take the cane with you. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm talking about? Like, trying to get through the hills up here, or somebody invites you over, you're like, oh, the ones with like the stone stairway steps all jagged. Yeah, I don't. That's
take the cane.
Yeah, it's like crazy. Yeah, and then there was like when it rained. What was it? New Year's or was it Christmas? It rained, and
it's been rainy here. I mean, the last week has been dry, but I've never seen so much rain.
Oh man,
crazy.
I used to live there in South Beach.
Yeah, we worked at the same station.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, and it was amazing because being there in Paul Kantner's old apartment in San Francisco was pretty cool. And you want to hear something funny? So I know these are now readily available, even though I've never seen anybody with one. But when I rented his apartment, I basically told my landlord, my friend Giovanni, I go, because at the time my girlfriend was living in Phoenix and she was moving there because I was doing a morning show in San Francisco, and she was like, I said, why don't you want to give it a go? Why don't you move here? And she brought the dog. She had this Maltese, one-eyed dog, one-eyed Willie.
Aww.
And he was
one-eyed Willie.
She cut his hair so he looked kind of like Duran Duran with hair over his missing eye. And it was unbelievable.
I love it.
It was hilarious. So I went up to my landlord because I'd lived in another apartment for a while, and I'm like, I just had to let him know that the dog somebody might have complained that the dog had been barking because it was in a new atmosphere, new surroundings. Yeah. So I go to my landlord. I go, man, I just want you to hear this from me. I want to be very transparent so you don't hear it from a neighbor that there's a dog there now. My girlfriend moved in. And he goes, well, maybe, Matt, you just need a bigger place or a different place. I'm like, well, what do you have in mind? He goes, well, Paul Kantner's place on the corner of Grant and Vallejo just became available. I'm like, I'll take it. I'm like, just done. Involved. I'll take the apartment. So I literally took it sight unseen outside,
awesome.
Walking down the street in like North Beach. But the funniest thing of all was that I waited, and my girlfriend was there already, like kind of moving up and move stuff from the other apartment. I walk into the bathroom, and I literally turn the shower on. and all of a sudden it starts shooting lasers into the shower. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what is this? And it was unbelievable. It was like, and now they have them. I think you can buy them online, but I think this was a prototype because we're talking quite a few.
Yeah, that's right.
So I had never seen anything like. I'm like, and I just went. Of course, a member of Jefferson Airplane has a psychedelic light in the shower that is shooting lasers. It was unbelievable. And eventually, like I said to my landlord Giovanni, I said, "Man, I go, yeah, we're moving to Los Angeles, but do you mind if I take that? Because I thought just because it was Paul's,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And he was like, yeah, he goes, I don't even know if the next neighbors would even want something like that there. He goes, go ahead, just replace it, which is what we did. And then I moved down here, but it's funny, I just found it again.
I was gonna say, do you still have it?
And so yeah, so
Nice.
one of my 2 showers here. My friend helped me put that one in the guest, like the bathroom and shower.
I love that.
I was dying. I'm like, we got to put that up there at least so we can see it still works.
You got to send me a picture. You got.
I'll send you a video of it. It's hilarious.
Awesome. Yes, do it. Do it.
I will just never forget that. Like how funny I thought that was. It was just such a special moment.
It's a great conversation starter.
It really is. It's hilarious. But yeah, this is I love talking to you, Marcy. I love you.
I miss you. I love you, Matt. You are an amazing human, and I love your wall. By the way, shout out to the Popoff brothers. I see lit.
Yeah,
Green Day poster. Nirvana.
Green Day isn't even a poster. That's the 20 million actually double diamond platinum plaque that the band.
Of course it is. This is your wall. We're talking. That is so cool.
Nirvana, you can see the Nirvana, and then Radiohead. OK Computer.
Yeah.
SP Purple is the big 4 one there, and and you've got what else? Soul Asylum. Soundbar.
Do I see? Is that a concert ticket right there, right behind your?
No, you know what that? My girlfriend had put that up there, and it was like on the wall, and I didn't think it was just up there. It was like a little piece that had been on the side, and it's a business card. It's a business card that was in a thing, and it's a business card when I was vice president of A&R and artist development of Columbia Records.
Very nice.
And then I have a couple of the gold Coheed and Cambria records that I was involved with on the corner. So I'm very grateful. I mean, and that's the one wall, and there's I love all that stuff because I love these records so much. So and then on the way in, you'll see like everything from, Alice in Chains to the Offspring, and the Pumpkins, and it's all over. And I'm very grateful for those things. Some have gotten stolen over the years.
Oh man,
yeah. I'm not going to really cry over material things, but I'm very, very grateful for the Green Day, the plaque for the 20 million right there. Because that's an amazing feat. There are only like 13 of those, like 13 artists who have, or 13. Yeah. Some artists have more than one. Like the Eagles have Eagles Greatest Hits and Hotel California. AC/DC has Black and Black, and Metallica has the Black Album. But be in that small club of people and records that have been so important to people, like this Green Day record that is still, inspires young kids to pick up guitars.
It really does, and we know how huge they are in the Bay Area. They're Bay Area boys, so people just go nuts.
Well, I love those guys so much. So and that was one of the things that was really amazing is when they asked me to be there to present them with a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame as my first public outing after the stroke.
The stroke. It was so cool.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment for me.
Yeah,
I think that people were like, "Oh my God, he actually, look, he can still talk." And I was walking the best I could. Like I said, you deal with a lot of things, and you just got to keep on going. But it was really, that was such a beautiful experience, and what an incredible thing to be a part of, to be asked to be a part of.
Yeah, that was cool.
I love those guys forever, and those guys are just fucking amazing. And that was when they reached out, and I thanked the guys, and let them all know, and of course told Billy Joe how much that meant, and he was, those guys are. And when I lived in the Bay, man, their families were always so cool to me.
So cool, yeah.
The Green Day shows, and it was I love them, and I love their families, all the extended families of all the guys. Bay is a lot of where you are is a lot of great great bands from there. Metallica,
Lots of music.
like there's so many.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I
Very
love,
close to their camp. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very cool.
yeah. So very,
Matt,
yeah. Thank you, Marcy.
so good talking to you and catching up, and I'm hoping to make it out. So I'll let you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of these days, I got to come back up there because I do have I certainly have quite a few friends up there, still in the Bay, and I love that area too, So
Yeah. Get out
it's
here.
it'd be really good. It'd be kind of cool to go by my old apartment. You know what I mean?
I'm coming. I'm coming with you.
Right, like right on the right, for they bring tourists by, So
Yeah.
I remember literally one day, like I'm like looking out my window, and there's Carlos Santana standing in front of like my right, and I'm like.
No big deal. Yes.
Pretty funny. You know what I mean? It was amazing. And I love
Yeah.
to look out my window when I lived there. And the Cafe Trieste was directly across the street. That coffee shop where Francis Ford Coppola wrote the screenplay for Godfather 1 in that coffee shop. And it was amazing. So
Very cool.
old neighborhood,
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
Did you hear the news about Bottom of the Hill closing their doors at the end of 2026?
no, I did not find that out. Yeah, that's amazing.
Isn't that sad?
It's
Everybody's bummed. Yeah, but they're doing some cool things. I think there's a documentary in the works.
That's great. There's so many great
Yeah.
venues and music out of there.
Mm.
I can't. Yeah, that's so it's already, has it been sold? Is going to be development? Do they know what it is?
No, I think they want to get out before certain things kick in, and they just want to go out with a bang. They want to get, as many people involved in the shows there this last year, and it's just really sad news,
I think
I
it's
don't hate
really
to see it close.
it's an
Yeah.
incredible venue.
Yeah.
Seen some great music there. Um,
Yeah.
but
The
yeah, that's
history.
fun to hear. I always get sad when clubs close. I mean, I knew
Mm.
when CBGB's closed, I knew Hilly didn't want to do it anymore. Like I knew he was burnt. You know what I mean? He had put
Mm-hmm.
years in there, and he was there all the time. You know what I mean? It was.
I would think it would take its toll, as cool as it is,
Yeah, it
So,
was, and the people that were involved in it, and it's like in any city, like a place like that in New York City, to use that as an example. I was involved with CBs a lot. Like I mean, when they did like the kind of like they did a festival thing for a few years after that, and they closed down Times Square and had like 3 stages that went from like 55th Street, 54th, right
crazy.
near the MTV building, all the way up to about 59th. And every year I hosted that for a few years, and that was like long after I can't remember, it was probably like 2015, 13, 14, 15, something like that. Before I moved to San Francisco, and yeah, it was just those clubs. I think it takes a lot of work to keep them going, and
Really does. Yeah.
whenever a club where I've seen great music, I hear about closing down, I get sad because it's always
There's always, and you have so many
great memories.
stories. Right. Yeah.
There's so many great things.
You
But
should share some for the documentary. You should jump in on that.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was there for a little while, but I went to shows when I would come up there. Remember the Gavin conventions used to be there too.
Yeah, that's
They were
right.
back in San Francisco to do work, so it was like cool, and I was, but I enjoyed. I really love this beautiful area up there, and
It is beautiful.
you
Yeah.
know, and but yeah, Marcy, I love seeing you, and I love doing this. So thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So glad you could make a little time.
Oh yeah, it was. It's always great when we can get together and do something. We've done some really cool things together, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it's anytime I get an opportunity to do something with you, I jump at it. So
Aw, thanks, Matt. I love you to death. You're an amazing human.
I love
Thank
you.
you.
Marcy. Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so thank you so much for everything, and
Thank
thanks for having
you.
me on. You know what I mean? It was cool. It was
Yeah, yeah.
hang with you. I loved it. All
Well,
right.
get out here. Get out here.
Okay. Yeah, come
Our-
see.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sounds good, Matt.
All right,
Okay. All right.
Marcy.
Bye.
All
Take
right,
care.
love you.